everyone. Thank you for joining day 2 of our Designer Academy. Today we'll be focusing on elevating your client experience, starting with the initial meeting, all the way through to the client presentation and their selections process. For those of you that joined our Academy yesterday, welcome back. This is day 2 of our 3-day Designer Academy. So we will be completing this tomorrow. If today's your first day, don't worry, we'll also be sharing all of the recordings afterwards. So my name is Katie. I'm on the product marketing team. So what that means is I work closely with our customers to understand how you're using our products and get any feedback from you, and then translate that to our product and engineering teams to make sure that we're building products that really resonate with our customers. Sophia, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Sophia. I am part of the client onboarding specialist team. I work closely with designers as well as contractors, and I work with accounts that initially sign up with the program and I get them onboarded with our platform. So I have a lot of experience with professionals that are coming from either other softwares or brand new on Houzz Pro, and I kind of teach them all of our different features that we have, but I'm very excited to show you guys the different features that we're going to cover today.
Awesome. So here is the agenda today. We'll start with our 3D floor planner, which is one of our most popular features. We'll also talk through selection boards and how those can fit into your design process and how to use them with your clients. We'll follow that with the client dashboard, how you can add different updates and documents into the dashboard and see the view that your client has. And then we'll wrap up with sharing our pro resources and how you can access our team for help or any of our other help articles and content. So with that, Sophia, I will hand it over to you so you can share your screen.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started. So right now I have my demo account here and I've already created a project. I have it assigned as Design Academy project. To create a 3D floor plan, what you're going to do is click into 3D floor plans into here and it'll take you to this initial screen here. There's a few ways that we can create a 3D floor plan. So the first way would be creating one from scratch. So that's as if you are creating one, drawing out your own walls. 3D room scan, this can be done through our Houzz Pro mobile app. With our room scan feature, you're able to get your phone and scan from one corner to the next to get the measurement of the space that you are in.
Sorry, you're breaking
Also
up.
have if you have XT shoot. Let me
Wait,
check with
sorry.
maybe my Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you're breaking up.
It's here. Oh, my internet connection is unstable. Let me turn my Wi-Fi off my phone. Okay. Is it better now?
Yes. Maybe just start over from the 3D part.
Okay. The
And I
3D.
think you can just say like, yeah, talk about the 3D room scan, and then you can say like, now we'll show you a video on how to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me start from, okay, so we can go ahead and create one from scratch. So that's as if you are just doing a brand new floor plan. We can also do a 3D room scan. So that would be done through our Houzz Pro mobile app. And we'll go ahead and play this video. It's a quick video that you can use as a resource when doing your room scan. Okay. Next, you can also do a upload 2D plan. So this is if you already have the drawings of your space, you're able to upload that and utilize our tools to do our trace mode and draw out the walls. So you can replicate that drawing and convert it into a 3D plan. We also have these different templates available that you can go ahead and utilize. You can either build off of the templates or utilize the same templates here to customize or just to practice. For this example, I'm going to go ahead and do one from scratch. So I'll click Create from Scratch here. And this is what it will initially look like. So at the top here, we have kind of like our menu bar that I'll go ahead and cover. So we have this little pan where you can move the board around. We have a pencil where you can draw out any additional walls. So if you're doing this from scratch or also uploading your floor plan, you're going to use this pencil to draw out any additional walls here. Okay, just like so. We're going to go ahead and have that attach. Let me go ahead and have this connect here, and then let me connect this last piece right here. We also have a outdoor feature that we can also draw out that I will show in a few minutes here. We can do a room split. So this is a great way if you are doing like a bathroom, for example, and you need to have two different types of flooring. So certain tile for the shower and then tile for the rest of the space. You can split up the room so that we can have those different flooring options. You can use the measure tool to show your client the space of how big the item is. This is a reset view, so it just brings you back to the original place. And then you can zoom in as well as zoom out. We have our snapping tool where you're able to bring items next to each other, and I'll also show an example of that later on. You can also comment on different product items, so you can share that with your client as well as with your team. And then this would be our camera feature if you wanted to take an image of the 3D floor plan itself. And then under our settings, this is where you can customize the unit of measurement and then also the view. So if you wanted to turn off the grids, you have that option. Okay. On this right-hand side, these are all of the items that we can go ahead and add into the floor plan. So we have our structures, generic products, and then our source. The items that are coming from our source tab are going to be the items that you can find on houzz.com. Unfortunately, you cannot add in items that you find like on Pottery Barn or West Elm, so other websites, because they're not 3D rendered. So you can utilize our list here and make the item look as similar as what the final product would be. Right above here, we have the floor plan view, the dollhouse, as well as the walkthrough, so as if you're inside of the client's space. I like to toggle between the floor plan view and the dollhouse view as I add in my different items. But let's go ahead and start building out our floor plan. So on this right-hand side, I'm going to go ahead and first add in a door. So I'll go ahead and you'll notice here that we have a large selections of different types of doors itself. So I'll just go ahead and select this door. When I want to move the item around, I'm going to go ahead and press down on it. And I'm going to go ahead and attach it to the wall, just like this. Okay. When I go to that dollhouse view, I'm going to be able to see that product item, and I can then further customize it. So I can change the finish of it. So I can either change it to a paint color. So we have all the paint swatches for Benjamin Moore and Sherman-Williams. Okay, just like that. Or I can go back out there and I can go ahead and select let's just do like honey brown, or if we scroll down, we also have white oak. And then you can also change the hardware finish as well, just like that. Okay. Now let's say that we wanted to change the flooring. What you're going to do is you always want to make sure that all of your walls are closed. Once it's been closed, you're going to be able to see this grayed out area. So when you click on the floor itself, you'll be able to see on this right-hand side, you're going to be able to select flooring. This is where I like to go to that dollhouse view so I can go ahead and see my different flooring options. So from here, I can make my selection on what floor that I want. Okay. And from here, you can also change the plank size. So if I go down here, I can change that sizing option. Okay, just like that. If I wanted to change the wall color, what I could do is select on the wall itself, and I would be able to select from my different paint swatches from here. I can also select a finish. So if I wanted to choose between tile and wallpaper, we have a wide variety to choose from. If I wanted to do multiple walls at once, I can press down on my shift key and select on the multiple walls here. So I can do 2 paint colors at once, just like that. I'm gonna go back out here. Let's go ahead and let's add in a kitchen cabinet. Okay, so I'm gonna go into my generic products here. I'm gonna scroll down and I'm gonna go down to kitchen products here, and I'm gonna add in my cabinet. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a bit so you guys can see this. Okay, so when I click on my product here on this right-hand side, I can further customize what the cabinet will look like. So we have different door styles that you can choose from. And we can also select the finish. So same thing, you can select either a paint color or any of the finishes that we already have. We can select the counter material as well. Okay. And then we can also go ahead and select hardware style as well, and then also customize the color and the size of it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make this black, and then also let's do a knob here. Okay. Once you're done building out one cabinet, we can go ahead and drag it so that it connects to a wall here. From here, we can now duplicate this cabinet. So that way you don't have to continue to go back and forth into each cabinet and customize it. So when you do this, you're able to change the dimensions of it. If you wanted a bigger cabinet, and then you can go ahead and have this attach. Notice that we have our snapping tool turned on right now. So when that is turned on, it will go ahead and automatically latch to that next cabinet. When we have this turned off, there is that chance that you might overlap your cabinets. So you ideally would want this turned on when working with your cabinets, or if you're putting in your dining room chairs, for example. Okay, and you're just going to continue to build out the kitchen from there. Another space that we can do is our outdoor area. So when you click on this tree right above here, you're going to be able to kind of create that backyard right through here. So I'm going to go ahead and connect one space to the next, and I'm going to have this finish right here. So it turns to that gray area again. And on this right-hand side, I can go ahead and select what flooring I want. So if I go to ground cover, I'm going to go ahead and select grass. So when I go to that dollhouse view, I can see exactly what that would look like. Now, if you wanted to add a deck on top of this, what you're going to do is click on this outdoor feature again. You're going to select where you want that deck. I'm going to go ahead and select from right here. And then you're going to select on the area that you had just measured out, and we can go ahead and change the material. So I'll go ahead and select my deck material. Okay, so when I see that from the dollhouse view, it'll look just like this. And if you wanted to add any outdoor products, what you can do is go into our generic products down here, scroll down, and we'll have outdoor products here. So we have a pretty good selection that you can select from. And we also have fences that you can customize. So like the height, the amount of fences that you need, and the color as well. But let me just go ahead and add in this outdoor sofa here. Let's say I just want to attach it right here. I can go ahead and change my fabric color. Okay. I can also change my hardware. Oh, it looks like the color didn't save. Let me double click there. There we go. And then we can also change the finish as well. Okay. Thanks. Go back out here. Along with this, we can also upload your drawings. So this is where if you already have that floor plan view, if you already have the floor plan itself, like in a PDF document, you can upload that file. And once you upload it, you're just going to put it to scale. And then you'll be able to use the pencil feature to trace it. So you turn on trace mode and you'll be able to connect all of your walls together. Okay. We also have the camera features, so you're able to take an image of the space. So you can do it from the floor plan view. You can also do like the dollhouse view as well. And when you click on new camera here, it's going to do a snapshot. We also have the photorealistic image. So we use AI to make this space look as close as possible to the actual in real time. So when you click on this, it's going to generate. It does take a couple of minutes, I'll say, for it to generate, but once it's been generated, one can go out to the project and we'll find it in your projects and files and photos. Okay. Within every room that you create, you can also create ceilings. So if I go back to my structures and I go down to ceilings, I'm going to click on this plus sign, and I can go ahead and put it in the shape of the ceiling that I want. Okay, and let's also do a ceiling in there. So we're done. gonna exit, done editing ceilings. When I go to that dollhouse view, I can go ahead and see that ceiling that I had just added in. Do we have any questions at this point?
Yes. Is there a way to adjust the height of that ceiling if you wanted to?
Yeah, so if you click on the ceiling itself, you're able to adjust the height straight through here. So you can adjust the base height. And then also, like if you were to do like a cathedral ceiling, you can also adjust the peak height as well.
Awesome. And then we've gotten a lot of questions on that room scanning app. Can you
Okay.
just explain that a little bit more? It is included with Houzz Pro. So if you have the app, then you can just automatically go in. There's no extra charge for that.
Correct. Yeah. So as long as you have the app downloaded, you're going to use your sign-in credentials. You're going to do it by per project. So you'll click on room scan and you're going to be able to scan your space. So depending on the version of phone that you have, we have our basic room scan, which will measure from one corner to the next, and it'll pick up on doors and windows. And then we also have LiDAR technology where that's if you have either an iPhone Pro 12 or newer or iPad Pro 4th generation or newer. With LiDAR, you're able to take your phone and then it will also measure out like the furniture that's inside of the space. So we do have those available and it's free for you to use. The mobile app specifically for the floor planner will only be done for the scanning portion. You can also view like the finished product of the floor plan on your app, on the app itself. But if you need to make any additional edits to the floor plan itself, like adding in any additional items or extending a room, you would do that on a computer.
Great. One more question. Is there a way to show additional floors, like a top floor or a basement?
Yeah, so right above here on this left-hand side, you're able to add in additional floors. So if you wanted to add in a basement, you'll put in that floor name, and then you can mimic the floor plan that you've already created and then click on add right into here, and then you'll be able to toggle between the different floors as you create your floor plan. Right. Any other questions before I move on to the next portion?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, one last thing. So once you're done creating your floor plan here, what you're able to do is share this with your client. So when you click on share on the top right corner here, you're going to be able to email this out to them. When you email this out, they're going to get this link. So I'm going to copy that link and I'm going to go ahead and paste that into my dashboard here. When I paste that dashboard, your client will be able to see it in the floor plan view, the dollhouse, as well as the walkthrough. And then any edits that you make before, after you've already sent it out and you decided to change the wall color, for example, it will automatically update in that same link. Okay. All right. Under our actions tab here, you can duplicate this floor plan. And you can also print it, save this as a PDF as well for your own reference. And then I think our camera image is now generated. So when I click on view, I'm going to show you guys what that looks like. I'm going to click into here. There we go. This is that outdoor space. It's a little uncompleted, but in terms of like me adding my stuff in, but this is what it would look like. So it brightens it as if we're in that outdoor space, and it makes it look as realistic as possible. Okay. Let's go back to our floor plan here. Any other last questions?
Yes. Is there a way to include a comment or a label on the floor plan?
Yeah, great question. So we have our comment feature. So this is a really great way for you to be able to communicate either with your team or with your client directly on the product. So let's say that we had a comment about this sofa. So like to the client, you could say, hey, this is back order 3 months. Are we sure we want this? Or within the team, you can say like, hey, I just ordered this from Houzz yesterday, so make sure that the client approves this. So when you use the comment feature, it's a really great way to communicate by per item on here, and then it will go ahead and save. But yeah, that's pretty much how you would use the comment feature on the 3D floor plan.
Great. And then what if you want to label something on the floor plan outside of a comment?
Yeah, so if you wanted to like say what room you're working on, you can click on the space itself and put in like your room label. So let's say for this will go ahead and be our kitchen. Oh, maybe I have to just, oh, there you go. It went ahead and changed. So right here we have our kitchen, and then let's say that this will go ahead and be the a bedroom. Go ahead and select on bedroom here. And so yeah, that's how you would go ahead and label your different rooms in your floor plan. So we'll go ahead and dive into our next item here. We're going to cover our selections board. Okay. So our selections board is a really great tool for you to be able to collaborate with your clients as well as with your team about the process of either the remodel or the design that's going on. The main difference between your selections board and your mood board is that your mood board is more so like a blank canvas where you can spit out your ideas and share with the client like, hey, these are the different colors that I'm going to go for. These are this is the style that I'm going for. Whereas your selections board is going to be a little bit more detailed where you're able to share with your clients, hey, these are the different items that we're going to go ahead and order for your project. It's also a really great way if your client is deciding between, let's say, like 4 different types of beds, and you want them to ultimately make their selection on one. You're able to share this selections board with them, and they can go ahead and make their approvals. Another great feature for the selections board is that you're able to take the approved items and move it straight into either a proposal or an invoice. Right now, I have an example of a bedroom, but I'm going to go ahead and do one completely from scratch, and I'm going to click on Create New. Now, it's up to yourself as the designer to decide if you want to separate the project by separate rooms, or if you wanted to if you're only doing one room, you can also do that as well. You're not limited to a certain amount of selection boards. So for this example, I'm going to go ahead and do a living room. So I'll go ahead and click on Create. This is what it will initially look like. So on this right-hand side, these are all of the items that we can add into the selections board. So your project items are going to be the items that you have clipped specifically for this project. I think the clipper tool was discussed in yesterday's webinar, but once you have that clipper tool downloaded, you're going to be able to assign that product item specifically for your different rooms. So it just helps speed up the process a bit because you're going to end up having like hundreds of items in your library. But another way is just pulling from your library directly. Okay, so here we have your products and services that we can add in. You can also add in products manually. So if you are on the go and if you found something at the antique store and you wanted to add that in, you can fill out the product name and then any details that you would like attached to the selection board. But for this example, I'm going to go ahead and just use some of the items that I already have in my library here. So I'm going to choose a couple of these items here. And let me select from different coffee tables here. And I'm just clicking on this plus sign to add in the product itself. Okay. I can also add in 3D floor plans. So as you create your different floor plan, we were able to kind of decide like what room that floor plan was going to be for. Or you can have any of the floor plans that you've already created for this specific project. So we can go ahead and insert that. You can also insert any mood boards that you've created previously, and then upload any images or files. Okay. Now on the selections board itself, you can set up a budget right above here. So setting up a budget is going to be by the room, so not the project's entirety. So let's say we have a $10,000 budget. And we're going to go ahead and include tax. Click on done. So as I click on my items to include in the budget, it's going to go ahead and move accordingly and show me how much I've spent so far. Okay. Right above here, I can also turn on my different filters. So if I only want to show my products, okay, I can customize that view, or I can just go ahead and see all. Okay. So from here, if you're working like internally within your team, you can utilize this comment feature right here, and communicate with the team and say, you know, hey, this item comes in another color. What do we think? And then you can also communicate to the client as well on this product item itself. I'm going to show you once we share this, how the client would see it. At any time, you can also see the link of that product. So it'll take us straight to where we found it. And then under this eye, you're going to be able to see the item overview on this right-hand side. So if you had, when you clicked on the item and you left any details about that product item itself, you can view that through here. Okay. All right. When you also toggle on this 3 little dots, you can change the sizing of it. So how big you want it to appear to the client. Okay. You can also set a cover image. You can hide items from your client. So later when you share this, if you don't want to share certain pieces, you can duplicate items, and then you can also move items. So if you accidentally added an item inside of your living room, but you wanted it to go inside of the bedroom, we can change that. Okay. But once this all looks good on our end and we're ready to share this with our client, I'm going to go ahead and click on preview and share. Okay. And right now, this is exactly what the client would see. But let's say, actually we don't want to share the pricing with them. We just want them to select the final item that they want to see to use. So we can completely turn off the item pricing. And then we can also turn off the description of the item so that they don't see that as well. You could share the product link with them or turn that off. And then you can decide what you want approvals for. So right now we have the approval turned on for the floor plan, but we can go ahead and turn that off. Okay. Once you're ready to share this, we'll just click on share on this top right corner, and then we can go ahead and email it out to them. We can export it as a PDF, and then you can also copy link to see exactly what the client would see. Okay. Now let's say that the client, I accidentally exited out here. Let's go back inside of the living room. So from there, once you send it out to your client's going to open up that link and they're going to go ahead and make their selections. So they're going to decide ultimately which item do they want to go for. So let's say that they ended up choosing this item and then they declined on this item here. You could either do it for them if you're in person with them, or let me just go ahead and copy the link here. When I paste that link into my dashboard here, on the client's end, they can go ahead and make their selection. So let's say that they went ahead and approved this, decline, approved, and then they went ahead and approved this one and declined the rest. So when we come back to your selections here, we're going to be able to see the selections that they made. Okay. Okay. On your end here, now you're ready to create this into either a proposal or an invoice. We can go ahead and click on convert. Okay. And you're going to be able to see all of the approved items here. Okay. You can then from here make your selections on the items that you want to go ahead and move straight into that proposal or invoice. Okay. And you'll be able to convert the 4 items. You can also view items from your other selection board. So I also have a bedroom, and I can also include that into that same proposal or invoice when I move it over. And then you can also set up your different filters. If you have several items on here, you can separate it by vendor, by category, and then also the status of the item. Okay. Any questions so far?
Yes, we have some great questions. Let's see. If you make an update to the floor plan after you've added it to a selections board, will the floor plan update here as well?
No, it's not going to update automatically. Correct me if I'm wrong, Katie. I don't believe it will update it, right?
Let us double check that. I would
Yeah. I
I would
know,
think, yeah.
yeah. It updates, like if you sent out the floor plan and then you made edits to it with that same link, it would automatically update. But I don't believe it automatically updates on the selection board itself.
Okay, let us double check that, and we can follow up here. There was also that same question. If you share the link with a client and then make an update, you may see that update like in real time if they're on a call, for instance.
Yes, they will see that on real time.
Okay, awesome. Let's see. Can you show again that budget bar? And there's a question, what does the budget bar reflect? Is it for all rooms or just for an individual room?
Yeah, so when you're inside of your selections board, so we're inside of the living room, we set up our budget right above here. This budget is going to only be the items that are inside of this room specifically. So when you set up your budget amounts for the room, whatever you have selected to include in budget will reflect in there, in this like budget tracker. So whatever you don't have selected inside of the budget will not reflect. If you wanted to do a budget for the overall, like with the different rooms that you have, if we go back to our selections board, so before we click into, before we click into a room here, you can edit it through here. So if you wanted to do the project budget, or if you wanted to do a selection board total budget, so you can separate that.
Okay, great. What if you did a 3D floor plan in another software? Is there a way that you could add it here to your selection board?
Yeah, so as long as you're able to export that from the other software, you can either add that in as an image or a file.
Okay, great. And I know we do get a lot of questions about whether you can clip a product and add it to your 3D floor plan. At the moment, that is not possible, but I know we hear that feedback all the time. So we're working on a lot of improvements in that area.
Yeah.
Sophia, do you just want to show how to create sections as well?
Yeah, so you can create different sections within the selections board. So what we can do is we can go ahead and select the items that we want to create a section for. So let's say this is the sofa area. I'm going to create section down here. It's going to appear. So let's say that these are going to be couches. Okay. And I can add any description right here. So that way it's a little bit more organized when you also share it with your client. So let's say also for this, we're going to go ahead and select all of the, what are these called? Coffee tables, create section. And I'm going to title this coffee table. Okay. And then at any time, if you go down into the actions tab here, you can also add it to a section as well down here. I guess I didn't go over these actions tab right here, but you can reset approval. You can include the item into your budget, change the size. We have our different sections that I just went over. You can also duplicate your items, download as a tear sheet. So if you want them by per page, convert, which is moving it straight into a proposal or invoice, and then the hiding versus showing to clients, and then moving the item from one board to another. And then also above here on the approval status, you can customize the view if you only want to see the approved items. And then if you also just want to view the declined items. Okay. All right. Any other questions?
No, I think those are all the questions for now.
Okay. Perfect. So I'm going to go back out to our project. And the next thing that we will go ahead and cover will be the client dashboard. So our client dashboard is a really great tool for you to be able to communicate back and forth with your client about their project, and they're able to view everything that you've shared with them in one place. So things don't get lost in email. When you go inside of the client dashboard here, on this right-hand side, you're going to be able to send an invite to them, a link for them to view their client dashboard. When you send the link, they're going to get an email saying that you have now invited them into the project. I have a screenshot of what that would look like. So let me actually go back to my files and photos here so I can show you what that would look like. And then let me just zoom in a little bit. So this is the email that they would get. So it says, hi, and their name. Here's a link to your project dashboard. And then they will be able to click on view dashboard, and they'll be able to see exactly what you see on the dashboard. Okay. The clients will only be able to see the items that you have physically shared with them. So at any time when you're creating the project for them, let's say you're in the middle of writing a proposal, that will not show up in their dashboard until you send it out to them. Okay. On their end, so they would be able to see that selections board since I shared that earlier with them. They can also message you directly as well, and then they can also see their totals right here. And then if you don't want to turn on the totals, you can feel free to turn them off accordingly. Okay. Under the financial is where they'll be able to see the different documents that you've shared with them. I already created like a sample invoice previously, so that's what the client would be able to see since I've sent that out to them. But they would also see like any purchase orders or proposals that you had shared out with them. Files and photos as well. So within each file and photo, you can decide what you want to share with the client. So as long as they have access to that specific image or file, then they would be able to see it through here. And then they would be able to see the selections. So then they can go ahead and click into this, and then they'll be able to see the selections that they had made previously. Okay, just like that. I'm going to go back to my project dashboard here. The client does not need to sign up for Houzz to view their dashboard. So as long as they're just clicking on the link that you had sent over to them to invite them in, they'll be able to view everything right away. Okay. And then they can also message you directly through here. So if they do send you a message through the dashboard, you would be able to see it here, as well as in your project overview. We have like a little message system. Let me go back. I go back to my project here. Sorry about that. Click into this here. We'd be able to see the messages right on this little envelope on the project overview. Okay. Any questions on this part? I got in the chat.
Let's see, a question from Katya. Is there a way so that clients don't always need to go back to the link? Is there anything you recommend there?
Yeah, I would recommend that they just, they can either just like keep that link, like maybe like bookmark it in their dashboard or like have it in their notes. Yeah, that would be the best way so that they can, but yeah, once you send that link, that same link will be used continuously. You could continue to send out this to them in case it does get lost, and you're just able to come into here and click on send.
Okay, great. And we are working actually on a pretty big upgrade to the client dashboard later this year. I know we've gotten a lot of feedback there. So by the end of the year, hopefully we should see some new views there, more capabilities as well.
Yeah.
A question from Lisa, will you be notified that you've gotten an email from clients?
Yes, so as long as your notifications are set up, yes, you will be notified every time that you get a message from the client, especially if they make any approvals or payments on like any document that you've created for them, you will get notifications for.
Okay.
And you'll also set up your notifications through here, settings and notifications. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you mind clicking on that actually, just to take a look in case some people aren't sure?
Yes, when you click on settings, notifications, so we have email as well as mobile push. So I set it up as always, but if anybody has any team members, they can also do it when they're only mentioned or assigned. And then these are the different items that we can get notifications for. So you can toggle different things on or off.
Yeah, so I know we often have questions around, this team member did or did not receive this notification or this email communication. So if you ever have questions, just look at your notifications and you can customize who's getting what.
Yes, and your notification bell right here. So on this left-hand corner, you'll be able to see any new ones that come in and then also any comments that have been made.
Great. Okay, that looks like all the questions for now.
Okay. All right, so then we'll move on to the last item, which just like is our help center. And like if you guys have any questions on anything, or if you guys need to reference any articles, underneath, right above my logo here, we have this question mark. So the first thing is our help center is going to be really resourceful to look up any like specific questions, especially like how to do the 3D room scan. For most of the articles that we have here, we also have videos attached to kind of demo on how to do things. So like for the floor planner here, if I click into it, you can view the different questions that people tend to ask. And then we have, when you click into the item here, would have like a video attached to it that you can reference. Okay. Go back to the question mark here. So that's the help center. We also have Houzz Pro Training. So this is where to see like any next webinars that are coming up. I know that we have another one tomorrow. Okay. All right. And then also any like live events, that is, if anybody is interested in any of those, we do a lot of demos in person, like design academies as well. We also have this chat box on the bottom right corner for our support team. So as you're working on something, if like something freezes or you also just want to submit feedback, you can utilize this chat to do so. All right. Any questions on any of that?
No questions on that. I think one thing that might be helpful to show, I know tomorrow we're going to get deep into the selections tracker, but we have had a few questions about that. So maybe you could just talk to it at a high level.
Yeah, so our selections tracker is a really great tool for you to kind of keep track on all the product items that you've utilized within this specific project. So when I click into the tracker here, you're going to be able to see all of the items that I've used so far. So my approved versus my decline. Oops, my screen's a little frozen here. Here we go. So within each product item, when you've clipped that product information, you'll be able to see like the details of it, the financials, like what it cost, and also like the specifications of the product item itself. And then you can also do order tracking. So it's a really great way to, especially like when you're working on it as a team, to kind of keep track, like what's already been ordered or like when is something coming in, or also to communicate to your client, hey, this is the expected ship date. You're able to fill this out and keep track through here within the system and within the project. Where your product items are and how it's being utilized within the project. You can set up your different filters above here, so you can customize exactly like what your tracker will look like. So if I only want to see my approved items, I can change that list right there. Document status, like what room it's going to be in. And you can also organize it through here as well based off the different statuses. And then you can also export this. I know this is a common question, so you can export it as an Excel sheet, an FFE schedule, and a tear sheet. So when I download it as an Excel sheet, you can also further customize exactly what will show up on the Excel, and then you can go ahead and download it. But yeah, it's a really great tool to stay organized, keep on top of the materials that you're ordering for this specific project.
Great, thank you. And yes, again, tomorrow we'll get more into details on that when we cover procurement.
Yes.
And then just one other benefit back to the selections boards. I know we do have a lot of designers who have been potentially doing that process through a proposal. Like maybe you create a proposal with multiple products to share with your client. So that's where the selections board can come in handy, get everything finalized, give a bunch of options before you get to that proposal phase, just to streamline the whole process. Another question we've had here on the dashboard, whether there's a video tutorial to help clients navigate their dashboard. That's a great question, actually a request that we've had before. So we're going to be working on that probably once we have some more updates to the dashboard later this year. So then we can have the tutorial. And we're also working on one to help clients with online payments. If you offer online payments through Houzz, we'll have a video that you can share with your clients as well that just explains to them how, how easy it is, how to get everything set up. So any other requests for content like that, please share it, and we'll be happy to add it into our list. Let's see, a question here from Megan. After a client approves or declines on a selections board, is it better to have them pay on the proposal or on the invoice?
So that depends really on how your process is. I always recommend the proposal solely because on the proposal you can collect the online the electronic signature. So if you need to set up like an agreement with them before you start working on the project, but ultimately you can collect payment both on the proposal and the invoice. So it's really up to your streamlined process on how like you want to do that. But it's best to do the proposal if you need to collect signature and approvals on anything, and then we can always move it into the invoice. And I think tomorrow's webinar is covering the proposals and invoice, if I'm not wrong. But there's like a streamlined process to it as well. So you can do from the proposal, move everything straight into the invoice.
Yes, we did cover that a little bit in yesterday's Academy as well.
Okay.
Question from Angelica, can you add mood boards to a selection board as well?
Yes, you can add mood boards. So on the right-hand side, right here, you can go ahead and select on mood boards, and then you would select either if you created a mood board specifically for a room, you'd see it under assigned to living room, or the unassigned, you would be able to see the mood boards that you've created for the project. And then you can add it in just like you would for the 3D floor plan.
Yes. One more thing while you're in the selection board, do you want to show how to resize the images?
Yeah, so let's say that I wanted to make this one a little bit smaller. I'm going to just toggle on the 3 dots here, and I can go ahead and change the size to make that smaller. And then I can also make it larger, change the size, make it large, and it'll go ahead and cover the full screen. Okay.
Yeah, so that's great if there's one thing you want to bring your client's attention to more. Maybe you really want them to look at the mood board, or you really want them to look at one of your products. And then you can make smaller some of the other products that maybe they don't need to pay as much attention to. Let's see, great question from Katya here, whether we have a step-by-step process that walks through how to maximize your time, basically the process from the mood boards to selection boards, tracker. So we're working on making more of these videos. We do have a few available I can share. And then we also have a help article that's basically the process that you can use when creating documents. So we can put some of those in the chat, or you can just show here, Sophia, how to access that.
Yeah, let me do the design step by step. Yeah, we have a getting started in Houzz Pro for interior designers. So this is actually like your step-by-step process on what would come first ideally. So this is a great way to kind of navigate kind of like how our flow is, but you can also definitely customize it to like your own liking. But we can also share this link with you guys later, but it's just the getting started deck for interior designers.
Okay, great. Any other questions? I see there's a question here, McKenna. If you want to sign up for the webinar tomorrow, but the link didn't work, I can try to just send you the link again to make sure you can sign up. And we will be sharing all these recordings probably by next week, so you can go back and see either today's session, yesterday's, tomorrow, if you weren't able to attend, or if you want to share them with any team members. Last call for questions. We do have another poll here, actually, I can launch. We would love to know, what feature do you wish you had in Houzz Pro? We're always working on updating our existing features and then adding new ones. So anything here top of mind, please feel free to add it in. Donna's question, where are you sharing them? So we will be, I assume that refers to the recordings. We'll be sending them out through email. And then on that webinar page, Sophia, do you want to go back to that webinar page as well? This is a great resource. If you go to the top, you can see there's a button for Houzz Pro Academies. Right now, we link to the academies that we ran in the spring, but once these are all edited, we'll be uploading them here as well. So you can always access this from within Houzz Pro. Okay. Well, great. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and hope to see you again tomorrow.